Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. It's so greatly appreciated. Truly is. Before we get started, let me give you my usual disclaimer that this video is for educational purposes only. Please do not take what I say as fact. Please always do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Next, if you have not liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing so. It really helps me out. It only takes a couple seconds and I really appreciate it. Okay. So today we are talking about Natalie Henderson and Carter Davis. Okay. Natalie Henderson was born December 15th, 1998 to parents Suzanne and Matthew Henderson. She has one sibling, a sister named Rachel. Natalie was about to begin her senior year at Roswell High School. She was described as smart, funny, sassy, strong, and a free spirit. She was also a leader for the color guard at Roswell High School, a lifeguard for Swim Atlanta, a talented singer, a guitar player, and she loved animals so much that she volunteered hours and hours at a local animal rescue. Whew. Carter Davis. He was born on July 29th, 1999 in Woodstock, Georgia, to parents Jeremy and Michelle Davis. He was a senior at River Ridge High School. He was an incredibly talented athlete that loved to play lacrosse. He would tell his mother that he loved her at least 3 times a day. He was honest and kind and described as a gentle soul. On the other side of the tracks is a man named Jeffrey Hazelwood. Jeffrey would end up being raised by his grandparents when his mother, who was addicted to drugs, was found by the court to be an unfit parent. Police would end up visiting the Hazelwood home 8 times since 2010. Once after he was suspected of stealing his grandparents. Once after a neighbor called to report they had seen him swinging a sword. And once because he was throwing knives in the front yard of his home. Okay. Dr. Sinman, who actually treated Hazelwood for about 3 years and had conducted more than 82 sessions with him, says that Hazelwood had a fear of being spied on, a belief that there were cameras in his room. He heard voices, he was depressed, he had difficulty sustaining attention, and he had difficulty sleeping. A childhood friend of Hazelwood's that actually attended elementary school with him and Boy Scouts with him told Heavy.com that Hazelwood used to work at a local craft store and hang out at the Waffle House. He spoke about how badly he felt for Hazelwood's grandparents that raised him, saying that they were very religious people and they tried really hard, but Hazelwood was just, in his words, crazy. Going on to say that he heard Hazelwood mention killing someone, but he thought that it was just a joke, which I guess a lot of people do. Because if you're a decent person, it's hard for your brain to go to that place. So I think that's why a lot of people don't take stuff like that seriously, because their brains could never actually go to that place. Going on to say that he would say things like, I'm going to that person, and would say he was going to his grandparents because they were too strict. But again, he just never took them seriously. A second friend of Hazelwood's that he met at an alternative youth academy told papers that Hazelwood didn't seem normal. He said that you could feel the strange when you stood next to him and that he was smart, but he was a loner. August 1st, 2019, a delivery driver discovers two bodies behind a Publix grocery store and phones 911. Natalie Henderson has no clothes on, and Carter Davis has black basketball shorts on. CCTV from Publix shows Hazelwood's vehicle parking in the side parking lot at around 3 o'clock in the morning. A short time later, Natalie and Carter's vehicles park in the back lot. Hazelwood is then seen observing the cars. He goes off camera for about an hour, and then he gets back into his car and he drives to the gas station. The actual crime, though, is not caught on tape. The following day, police discover that someone had used Natalie's debit card at a nearby gas station after the murders. When officers watched the CCTV footage, they matched the vehicle at the gas station to one of the vehicles that was seen on the Publix grocery store CCTV. With that, detectives were able to determine that the suspect was wearing a V for Vendetta hat at the scene, as well as while pumping gas with Natalie's stolen debit card. Through CCTV, they were also able to discover the car the suspect was driving was a Honda Passport, and through a GBI search, they were able to trace the car back to Hazelwood's grandfather. Obviously, it wasn't Grandpa. Poor Grandpa. Poor Grandpa. Getting dragged into this crap. From there, they realized all the troubles and phone calls that were being made by Hazelwood's grandparents and neighbors. Next, they arrest Hazelwood and they execute a search warrant for his vehicle. Inside the vehicle, they find the V for Vendetta hat, a small red gas can, and a 9mm handgun that was consistent with a projectile that was discovered at the crime scene. His story would change repeatedly. He initially told police that he was there when it happened and watched it all go down, but he was unable to see who the shooter was. He did, however, admit that he went through the cars and he stole some items, which included Natalie's debit card. The next day, and Hazelwood's second interview, he told police that he drove someone else down there to the scene and that they had instructed him to the two victims.
The chilling confession of the man who killed two high school students behind a Roswell grocery store.
In a Roswell police interrogation room last August, 20-year-old Jeffrey Hazelwood revealed all to a detective about the night he shot and killed two Roswell teens.
After the boom. Did she fall down that one? What did you say to them when you opened the door?
Listen, get out right now.
Did you hit him?
Yes.
Okay. What did you hit him with?
But at other times, he denied being the man responsible. At one point, the detective confronted Hazelwood with surveillance photos from the grocery store parking lot.
That's you running away the first time. After you shot them. Running away.
Times he seemed to talk about a voice in his head that told him to do it.
Because the bad guy would have gotten you. That's the story that we're going with. The invisible bad guy that looks just like you. Give me a break. Give me a break.
1 year later, Hazelwood now sits in prison after he pled guilty to taking away two young lives.
He went on to tell officers when he first saw the cars, he was curious as to why they were back there. So he took it upon himself to spy on them from behind an electrical box. None of your business. before he climbed on top of the store to continue watching them. Again, none of your business. So, okay. Next, he walks over to Natalie's car, opens the back door, and that's where he finds both Carter and Natalie. He points his at them and tells them to get out of the car. Apparently, him and Carter exchange words, and Hazelwood hits him with the gun. After this, he gets scared, and him in the head, and instantly. I actually do believe this series of events, and I'll tell you why. Because one of the things that I was reading, a friend of Carter said, I can't believe that this happened because Carter was such a strong kid, he could have mopped the floor with Hazelwood. So that's why I do believe this version of events that Hazelwood tells, because Hazelwood's a twerp, and I'm sure that Carter probably could wipe the floor with him, but not when you have, in a fair fight, it would have been game over. Next, he orders Natalie out of the car. When she steps out, he says that she was only wearing a shirt and underwear. He forces her to take that off, though. He leans her over the hood of the car, and he SAs her with his fingers before her in the head and her instantly.
She was my best friend. I consider her my sister.
For Emma Caldwell, the grieving has only just begun. On the dining room table, she's gathered a collection of photos of her close friend, Natalie Henderson. Her life taken along with Carter Davis.
When I found out, I screamed and I started crying and I fell to the ground. She didn't hurt anyone, and I feel so bad for Carter's family, and I feel bad that I never knew him, but she told me about him one time, and he just sounded so sweet to her.
Emma told me she last heard from Natalie on a Snapchat just hours before her.
I don't understand why he would do something like that to my friend or to Carter. There were just so many people that cared about the both of them.
She says she loved the way her friend giggled and gave warm hugs and brightened up the day for everyone who crossed her path.
So it's just really heartbreaking.
I can't. I just like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, for real. What the actual fuck is wrong with people? He then poses them. Carter's arms are stretched out like a cross position. And Natalie was posed in a sexually suggestive position. Next, he grabs Natalie's debit card and he grabs Carter's jumper cables in case his car breaks down. And he takes off to the gas station. August 3rd, 2016, police would execute a search warrant on the Hazelwood home and Jeffrey Hazelwood was arrested. A search of his Facebook account revealed a few disturbing pictures. A masked man sitting in a corner holding a gun. 2 baby chicks holding guns. An Alice in Wonderland quote that reads, "Have I gone mad? I'm afraid so. You're entirely bonkers, but I'll tell you a secret. All the best people are." Then there's like normal everyday pictures and graphics. Graphics of wolves, a rose, a man kneeling over a woman, and a deserted forest. While in jail, Hazelwood admitted that he hadn't taken his medication in the weeks leading up to the incident. During his preliminary hearing, Hazelwood is seen shaking. His doctors cautioned the judge that he needs to be consistent with his meds and that a trial lasting more than a week could spark anxiety issues. But short of that, he is competent to stand trial. Hazelwood is found guilty and sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole. Okay, so normally this would be the point where I would give my closing spiel, but there's one more thing. Okay? While in jail, Jeffrey Hazelwood obtained a cell phone somehow, and he posted a selfie to his Instagram. Yep, took a selfie in jail, posted it to his Instagram. But that's not all. Ready? He also accepted a friend request. Oh God, just when I thought I've heard it all. He accepted a friend request from a former CBS 46 reporter. Ain't that some shit? Investigators say that this is not just a problem in their jail. Obviously, this is a problem in all jails, but they are investigating it to get to the bottom of how he obtained this cell phone. Can you imagine? Posted a freaking selfie. Okay, now I'm going to give you the spiel. If you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you so very much. I truly, truly do. If you have not liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing so. It would mean so much to me. If you have any case suggestions, please email me, harding527@yahoo.com. And until next time, stay safe out there.